You are looking live here in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah, here at DNA HQ. How's it going, AJ?
Dude, I am so good. So good today. How are you, man?
I am living the dream. It is a gorgeous day outside. What, 50-something odd degrees today?
Yeah, the wind was a little chilly out there.
Wind was lipping. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, wind was a little chilly, but the day was beautiful, though.
The day was beautiful. The day was beautiful. And once again, folks, thank you for joining us on another edition of the DNA Sports Recap. As a reminder, folks, this is a live stream, so if you are watching us live, please feel free to jump into the chat. Let us know where you're watching, and let us know what you're thinking about what we're talking about today. We'd love to hear from you. Love to interact with you. That's why we do this show live, is because you guys made that part of this that much funner.
So much more fun.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Hello, Internet. Welcome to another edition of the DNA Sports Recap. On today's episode, we have...
Let's break down games 3 and 4 from the Utah Mammoth.
In college football, the director of sports performance resigns at the U. What's going on there?
And Joe Ingles announces his NBA retirement. Let's talk about what he meant to the Utah Jazz.
In Major League Baseball, there is a myriad of coach firing this early in the season. Let's go ahead and break that down. All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ. And this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
Once again, folks, welcome to another edition of the DNA Sports Recap. My name is Darren. That is AJ. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's talk a little bit about the Utah Mammoth, shall we?
Freaking rookie. Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. Well, we still got the logo up. I hit the wrong one.
You're making so much editing for me already. In the beginning.
Sorry.
Let's talk some Mammoth.
Yeah, let's do.
All right, man. Well, it's been an eventful playoff series so far for the Utah Mammoth. Last week, we covered the first 2 games on the road, which Utah was able to earn the split and get the Game 2 win, bring it back to Salt Lake. And Game 3, man, Game 3 was historic for Utah. First playoff game in Utah at Delta Center.
Yeah.
Not the Delta Center, at Delta Center.
Delta Center.
If you guys know, you know. Utah jumps out to an early lead in this one, man, scoring 2 goals in the first period. Uyghur opens up the scoring with, about 5 minutes into the first period, and with a shot between the circles, basically. Dylan Gunther converted on a power play with about 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in that period with a slap shot of his own at the top left circle. And then we also have Lawson Crouse, who scored twice within 6 minutes of each other in the second period.
Yeah.
Veggie had 30 saves on the night. Utah controlled the middle game pretty much all game long. And Mammoth came out with a win, man, 4-2.
Yeah, it was really a great game. And I think this game really kind of, it talked about Utah's depth. You could tell that home crowd was just really, really engaged. And I mean, Veggie looked great the whole game. It's awesome to have a goaltender that just goes out there and just does a great job in the net and just keeps you in every single one of these games. It was nice to see Utah kind of control this one. You know, they needed, we talked about it last week, but they needed a statement win, right? They needed to show that they could go out there and not just squeak by, but win that game in a pretty commanding way. So it was a really fun game to watch. It's nice to have a little bit of pressure off knowing, they had a decent lead most of the game. So it was a great one.
Absolutely. The atmosphere outside with the party going on the promenade out there.
Yeah.
It was really great. It was great to see. It was great to see Utah come out and, really support their hockey team pretty much as they did all year. Apparently it was a year to the day that they brought the team to Utah that day.
Oh, really?
So the day that we were out there on that promenade welcoming that team into Utah was the exact same day a year later for their, obviously not a year later, 2 years later for their first official
That's actually
game.
really cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I caught that from local news coverage, by the way.
That's impressive.
The one time I had the local news on, I happened to be talking about hockey.
I was going to say, who does that?
Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting. We got a comment here from Greg Hawkins. Let's go. Thanks for joining in, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
And then this is great. Thanks, Greg. Excellent transition work. Yeah, AJ's killing it over there.
Killing it, dude.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's his first day. It's all good.
First day.
It's all good. We also got another comment here from a friend of the channel, Tammy Price. Let's see here. It was fun to watch. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely interesting to see, especially when it comes to the Utah Mammoth. You're seeing a lot of non-traditional hockey fans enjoying this playoff series.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And really kind of getting into it in a way that, they probably might not have gotten into the regular season, at least for the last 2 years. And now they're like, oh, hey, this is what Utah hockey's about. I'm all in, So,
yeah.
So it's probably going to see a lot more transition into a lot more local fans, kind of casual fans, kind of tuning in a little bit more to the Mammoth, kind of like what we talked about on a previous episode last week.
Yeah.
So be sure to check it out. It won't be linked anywhere because neither one of us could be bothered to do that. So, but let's go ahead and jump ahead to Game 4. This is a game. This game was for a game that's not featuring the team from Minnesota. There were sure a lot of wild swings in this one.
Yeah.
Did you see what I did there?
I did.
There you go.
I did.
Yeah. Anyway, the Golden Knights raced out to an early 3-0 lead with 2 goals in the first, 1 early in the second half. In the second quarter. We got these 3 goals from Dorfieva. Probably not right. And we also have Howden and Cole Smith scoring those 3 goals. 2 coming in the first period, 1 coming early in the second. Utah did come back by scoring 4 straight unanswered goals of their own, AJ.
Yeah.
You got Nick Schmaltz and Ian Cole both scoring within 30 seconds of each other in the second period. Kind of a theme for Utah that we got going on there. Michael Carconi tied it up with another slap shot with 1:44 in the third, on the clock in the third. Veggie had 31 stops to Hart's 27. And, of course, there's that overturned goal by the Knights from the Knights in early OT that got overturned because of the offsides call. Then you also had Shea Theodore score on a snapshot from the high slot with 51 seconds left in overtime. Vegas was able to beat the Utah Mammoth 5-4, bringing the series back to Vegas even at 2-2.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you happen to watch any of the overtime?
Yes.
Dude, that was must-watch hockey.
Yes.
It was so intense. Like overtime started and I couldn't. It's funny because I was watching it on my phone and my wife was like, just put it on the TV already. And I put it up and I was like, this is so crazy. Like it was high intensity. I mean, it was fun to see Utah really just show the resilience, right? Going down 3-0, that is a tough storm to weather. Like at what point do you just kind of throw in the towel, right? And you're like, okay, I guess we just move on to the next one. But they stayed with it. They got some goals back. The game was high scoring. It was back and forth. Like the momentum was just swinging both ways. In the overtime period, it was like Utah came out storming to start it. They were like, okay, we're going to get it. This is what we were fighting for, right? And then the momentum just swung back. After that, like Vegas had kind of recaptured some of it, and they were really pushing a lot of pressure on the net. And then then the shot that was called back from the offsides, and then Utah came out screaming again, all over the place. But then you kind of saw the momentum swing back to Vegas. Utah couldn't get the puck cleared back up the ice, and we had a couple drops, and it was brutal. Like you could kind of feel the momentum just slipping away from the Mammoth as right before they got that goal because they couldn't get the ice cleared. They couldn't get it cleared.
Yeah, no, and it's one of those things that you're looking at, man. When it comes to that game, it was clear that when it got into overtime, the Mammoth is going to have to figure out a way to combat the physicality of Vegas.
Yeah,
because the speed by that point, when you scored 4 unanswered goals, you're going to started to get a little gassed. You can kind of see that, and the speed just wasn't there in overtime like it was in regulation. So, but if you're going to lose a game, AJ, that's the way you're going to want to lose.
Yeah,
you go down 3-0 and you punch back hard.
Yep,
I loved seeing that because again, to your point on Game 3, it showed you that this team is not just going to get away with one and try and squeak by a win. It showed you that hey, we're here to play. We can play with these types of players. We could play this type of hockey and still, we could play our style of hockey against your style of hockey and still prevail. So you absolutely love to see it. great to see. And obviously the puck's about to drop here in about 20 minutes from our talk. So basically by the time we post this, all this content will be irrelevant. So it's great.
But we had to talk about it anyway.
We needed to talk about it.
Yeah.
We needed to talk
Yeah,
about
we
it.
had to.
I actually want to I have a bone to pick with you about this one. I need to ask a question.
Okay, I'm ready.
They had 2 days off between games 3 and 4, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. That actually really confused me too, especially being here.
Yes. So why did they have 2 days off if it was here? And why did we only have 2 days off if one of the travel days were back to Vegas? So they only had 2 days off between game 4 and the game start tonight.
Well, they only had 1 day off.
Yeah, so they had 1 day off and a travel day.
Yeah.
2 days
And
between
then-
games.
Yeah.
So why did we have 2 days between games 3 and 4 when no one had to go anywhere?
Yeah.
And was it just the TV stuff?
It had to be TV scheduling. That's
'Cause-
the only thing that I can come up with.
I thought game 4 was going to be the day
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. So
So
did I.
I was looking for the game. I'm like, well, why isn't this on here? And then
Yeah.
it comes out, oh, it's tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow?
Yeah.
And
why
I
would it
started
be
looking back at
tomorrow?
the schedule. I'm like, how many times how many times, do they need? Because, relatively new to hockey. We're new to hockey fans, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't play a whole bunch of back-to-backs or 1 games off or what have you. Maybe this is just a scheduling thing that they do. They need. No, I've seen them play 2 games with 1 day off plenty of times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a playoff thing. No, the only thing I can see is that it's a TV thing. And I think that really hurt the Mammoth and killed the momentum.
Yeah.
If you can't carry that whooping from game 3 over to game 4 because you gave them 2 days, I think
Yeah.
that really kind of hurt the Mammoth's chances of coming away with a win in game 4. I
Yep.
don't know. To me, it just kind of seemed like a little,
I agree though, because it was tough, and you think those players you get so hyped up, and you can keep some of that rush going into game 4 if you're 1 day off. Go out, get a quick practice in, back to the ice the next night.
yeah.
I feel like you got a chance, but 2 days off just seemed crazy.
Yeah. Favor then swings back to the veteran team
Yeah.
that's been there before,
Yeah.
which is the Knights. So I just kind of felt like it was kind of a shot towards the Utah team about having that home ice advantage. Basically, just kind of felt like it was baked in the schedule that would be taken away from them there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just didn't seem right. I didn't like it. I just want to bring that up. What's your prediction for tonight?
Whew. This game is pivotal. This could really decide some of this series.
Yeah.
But I think the Mammoth got a chance. Absolutely. Like you said, I think that they can carry some of that momentum that they had on the tail end of game 4. Yes, I understand it was a loss, but they had a ton of momentum to come back and prove that resilience where they came all the way back from 3-0. Hopefully they carry some of that momentum into this next game and just go out firing and go up early, get the momentum swung your way, and just keep trucking through this team.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'd love to see them come away with a win in this one. However, I am not shaken if they come away with a loss in this one, because I think the Utah Mammoth have proven that they can go back-to-back and win one at home and on the road against this team.
Yeah.
So obviously they want to win tonight. You want to win this game tonight. And I think they showed that they can compete with this team, scoring 4 unanswered goals and just happen to blow it in overtime, and at the end of regulation and then in overtime, obviously, because they gave it that goal late when they had the lead. But the point is that they've shown that they can punch back and they show that they can win on the road against this team. While Vegas is probably going to be favored simply because that they are the veteran team that have been here before.
Yeah.
I don't think you can count Utah out either way if they come away with a win tonight or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on tonight's game? Do you think the Mammoth are going to be able to pull it out? Phrasing. You think they're going to come away with a win on this one? And we want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. We got Pacific Northwest Ute jumping into the chat here saying Mammoth comeback, major.
Tusk testes.
Exactly. I like it. That's perfect. Love it, man. Love it. Thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. Love having you on there. All right, man. So let's go ahead and switch on over, man. Let's go ahead and talk some about some Ute football, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let's talk Utes. All right, AJ. So there was an article in the news there about the University of Utah director of football sports performance, Greg Argust, resigned shortly after being promoted to the role in January. His departure is part of an ongoing staff turnover following the head coach of Kyle Whittingham leaving for the University of Michigan, along with longtime strength coach Doug Elisaya.
Yeah.
Close?
Yeah.
Yeah, close enough. But anyway, he's been with the program. Argust has been with the program for over 20 years. To see him replace, and what Utah did is he left and they promoted Steve Sanders into his position, who previously worked with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
So obviously the most important question here, AJ, is what does a director of football performance do? That's my first question.
Dude, I have no idea, actually. Director of sports performance.
I'm thinking like, okay, maybe that's just a fancy title for the strength coach, but no, that's Doug.
Yeah.
So what does a director of football sports performance actually do, and why is this a thing? Like, I'm curious.
Dude, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's pivot on over to the less important question. Sorry about that, AJ. Didn't mean to throw a curveball like that to you.
That's a great question, though. Like, what does a director of sports performance do?
Yeah, football sports.
He's like, you guys need to perform, and I'm going to direct you.
Yeah, director of football sports performance. That seems very specific type of title. You think would have a very specific type of job. But yeah. Anyway, tell me what you think about this, man.
I mean, I think that this could be, because taking the promotion, I think this could totally kind of relate to how demanding just being a Division I director probably is, right? And again, I don't know what this job does. This guy's been with the program for a long time, and he's been with Kyle Whittingham and that whole thing. I think it really just it shows you probably how demanding it is to be in one of these positions. You know what I mean? I think it can just be overwhelming, and you take a promotion, you're like, yeah, I can absolutely handle this. But, I think it could just be a little bit, maybe show to be a little bit too much.
Yeah. I think the fact that he was declined to comment when the Salt Lake Tribune asked to contact him for comment, he declined to comment. There's also no explanation given as to why he resigned or what he plans to do next. So timeline wise, he's promoted this role in January. That was prior or after Witt's decision to leave? That's after, right?
That's after, yeah.
So Witt leaves. So does half the offensive coaching staff, right? Or the whole coaching staff. And then you have this guy's promoted in January, and then 3 months later he leaves. So that would kind of paint the picture that maybe what he was expecting is, to your point, like maybe this is something that's a little bit too much for him to chew, or he already has something else in the. I don't know, man. I just don't get this one. Like, I don't understand what the role is, and then secondly, I don't understand why somebody who just got promoted to this role is willing to walk away from it, unless there's there's some type of like personal reason. Totally get all that stuff. But why, if it's sports related, why would you leave this role you were just promoted before you even got a chance to play on a season?
Yeah. Yeah,
Seems
that's
odd.
super. And maybe it has something to do with Steve Saunders, the guy that replaced him. Maybe they just thought he was going to be a better fit. I mean, he does have some NFL experience. Not a great, tenure. He was the strength coach for the Baltimore Ravens, but he had an F- grade from the NFL Players Associated in 2023 for strength staff performance. So, there was players on the Ravens that had reported that he didn't help them succeed. And then he left the Ravens program in 2023. So maybe somebody in the program saw him as a better option, and maybe Argust was just, maybe not hitting the bar, and they're like, well, this guy's got NFL experience. I don't know. This is a really weird situation, and kind of crazy that he kind of, declined to comment on the whole scenario.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because the Steve Saunders thing, I wanted to bring that up because what we've talked about on this channel ever since we started talking about Utah football, it has been injuries.
Yeah.
And bringing in exactly what you talked about, an F- grade from the NFL about, for as a strength coach that can cause injuries, like it's that's not a good sign, dude. I don't like that. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I mean, not great. I mean, it's
I mean,
funny
he's
because
not going to be the strength and conditioning coach for this team, but he's going to be that person's boss, is my guess.
yeah, and the thing is Scally had just praised Argust during spring camp for player development, strength gain. You know, they kind of reported that they had a really strong overall spring camp and minimal injuries, just a few hamstrings, a concussion, a minor knee issue. Like, so Argust was already reducing soft tissue injuries, and now he's gone, and now you got a guy that, you know, was not graded out very well in the NFL and stepping onto a Utah team that you just cannot afford injuries this year.
No. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below on this odd turn of events. We'll follow this. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Greg gets a job somewhere else and kind of follow that as it goes. But more importantly, man, we had the NFL draft. I don't know if you were anywhere near a TV or a radio. You couldn't get away from it even if you wanted to. As a baseball fan, trust me, I tried. But the NFL draft happened over the last weekend there. Over the last week, well, since we were last on the air, basically. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to cover, basically just kind of talk about some of the draft that happened from within the state there. Let's start off with the players from Utah.
Yeah.
When it comes to the draft, let's start with the first overall pick from Utah, which was the number 9 overall pick in the first round to the Cleveland Browns, and that was Spencer Fano, the offensive line from Utah.
Yeah, I mean, Spencer Fano's a stud. He was projected to be one of the top offensive linemen taken, and he was. I'm really excited for this opportunity for him, actually. I mean, this is really cool. The Browns have struggled with their offensive line over the last couple of years, so to go out and get Spencer, and you know, I saw a bunch of the interviews where they talk about how elite his footwork is, and you know, just how excited the Browns were to have him was really cool to see. Because I mean, he's a born and true Utah boy, man. Grew up in Spanish Fork, Utah. You can't beat a player like that going to, being a top 10 pick and really having an opportunity to go, play at the highest of levels.
Yeah, became the 3rd highest draft pick in program history, by the way.
Yeah,
I was surprised to see that. And also, I also saw here that he's got an immediate starting potential as an NFL offensive lineman, which obviously, if you watched any Utah football, you knew that already.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about the next one there, number 28th overall pick, and still in the first round. And this is Caleb Lomu.
Lomu. Yep.
Have not heard that one both ways.
Yeah. Caleb Lomu. And this is really cool because these are the first Utah teammates to ever be taken in the first round together. So for Utah to produce 2 first round draft picks, yeah, Lomu ends up going to the Patriots. The tandem of Fano and Lomu was just unstoppable last year. So to have these 2 guys both make it to the NFL, it's a testament to the offensive line production that they had last year. And you look forward to seeing him. He's also got a potential to be, starting or getting some decent playing time next year too. I mean, that's what you do with first round draft picks. So.
Yeah, you love to see it. 2 first round draft picks, both of them offensive linemen, which is interesting because it definitely kind of reinforces that reputation for University of Utah.
Yeah,
as being basically an O-line factory for the NFL, which is let's keep chugging that along, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep bringing those boys in here, right?
Oh yeah.
And you obviously stepped all over my stat I wanted to put on there first 2 round, the same draft, but that's okay. Next, we have Dallen Bentley, tight end. He was the number 256th overall pick in the 7th round, and he has been drafted by the Denver Broncos.
I think this is really funny. The Denver Broncos apparently love Utah tight ends.
Yeah?
Yeah, they took a Utah tight end like in the 7th round last year too. They took Caleb Lohner.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That wasn't the 7th round.
Yeah, the 6'8", Baylor basketball player that transferred to Utah to play tight end. And so the Broncos do a lot of selecting of Utah players over the years. You look at, like, if you're a Utah fan and you don't have an NFL team, just choose the Broncos because they draft so many Utah players. And I don't know if it's because of how close they are and they can get over here pretty easily and kind of scout players from a
Used to play in the altitude.
Yeah. But it's funny because the Broncos just they draft a lot of Utes players, and they went on and picked one more up in Dallen Bentley, so add him into the tight end stack.
Let's do it. He's kind of seen as a more of a developmental prospect depth option for them at tight end, or as a red zone target for that option there. So, who do we have that went undrafted that signed a undrafted free agent deal, AJ?
Yeah, so there was a couple of them. I mean, Jaron Kump, he went to the Chicago Bears. Really cool for him. You know, he had a 6-year career with Utah, so he's been around a long time, played in a lot of games, had 59 games, 40 of those were start, primarily at center. He's one of those guys you can kind of plug and play on the offensive line. You can put him in any one of those positions. So he deserved. Surprising that he didn't get drafted a little bit earlier. I know there was some issues. He has had injury issues over the years. So, but a great player. Really cool that he went to the Bears. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
He was the only one, right?
No. Logan Fano.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
Logan.
yeah.
Okay.
Spencer Fano. Spencer Fano's brother, Logan Fano, also got signed an undrafted free agent deal with the Cleveland Browns. So they are reunited. We'll be going to Cleveland together as brothers, which is one of the coolest stories out of the whole draft, dude. How cool is that?
Yeah, you probably felt like at the point where if he didn't get drafted, you were kind of hoping that would be the case.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. Like, hey, my bro, like, you gotta get him. Yeah. He's worth it. And then Lander Barton also signed an undrafted free agent deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. Go Chargers! Pretty cool to see him going there. Especially, I do cheer for the Chargers. Say all you want, it's fine. But I hope that I get a chance to see Lander Barton in a Chargers uniform next year because that would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah, we want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to the players that were drafted from the University of Utah and also those that signed undrafted free agent calls. Just call us from Pacific Northwest Ute. Just call us Bronc U.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's so many players. It's crazy.
Let's just keep it going, man.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Keep that pipeline running.
Yeah.
Worth a note here, BYU did have 2 players drafted. Jack Kelly, a linebacker, was drafted 6th overall, 6th round, 193rd overall is their highest draft pick by the New York Giants. Was expected to be drafted a little earlier, but slid down to day 3. You also have Carson Ryan, a tight end, who was picked up in the 7th round, 248th overall by the Browns. The first tight end in over a decade to be drafted out of BYU, by the way.
And he used to play for Utah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But also very cool that that's one more former Utah player that all went to the Browns, man.
Throw that one up in there for sure.
Yeah.
The Cougs actually had 8 players get signed. So at the conclusion of the draft on Saturday, wide receiver Chase Roberts, safety Tanner Wall, offensive lineman Isaiah Jada, or is it Hata?
Probably Hata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was one of the ones we do see. I've heard it both ways. I think we'll leave that one at Hata. But basically those 3 players all signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. While the other trio of Cougars that were drafted, cornerback, not drafted, but signed, cornerback Maury Bamba, kicker Will Farron, and long snapper Garrison Grimes announced that they are headed to New York to play for the Jets. Sunday, defensive lineman John Tomea Peau. Not going to get that one. Sorry, John. Received a rookie camp invite to the Kansas City Chiefs, and offensive lineman Austin Leuasa also got a minicamp invite to become the 4th Cougar going to the Raiders, according to BYUCougars.com. So my question on that to you, AJ, is that while Utah obviously had better draft coverage by having a lot more players higher in the draft, BYU is sending more players to NFL camps. So who had a better draft weekend? Was it BYU or Utah?
Oh, definitely Utah. I mean, no doubt. You had a top 10 pick, 2 first-round picks, 3 players drafted, and
2 players signed unrestricted free agent,
four
undrafted free agent.
4 or 5 signed undrafted
Was
free
it 4 or
agent
5?
deals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a few more. That was just a couple of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so Utah did great. You know what I mean? We sent a lot of guys that are heading to, to play at the next level. And the best part is a lot of these guys that signed undrafted free agent deals. I mean, Mohamed Diabate is a great one to kind of show, but he plays for the Browns as well. As funny as that is, but he signed an undrafted free agent deal, and I think he's their starting linebacker now. So these guys get to these camps, and yeah, they might not have spent a draft pick on him, but they get out there and show and earn big contracts. So great day, great couple of days to be a Ute. We should be proud of those guys.
I say after like the 6th round, you probably much are just hoping that no one picks you, so you can kind of sign where you want to go.
You have a little bit more options.
A little bit more optionality, as they'd say.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just want to go ahead and go through some of that option that came from the Cougs as well. Just kind of highlight that how many players came from the state of Utah that made it to the NFL on draft week there. Again, folks, we want to hear from you. Just let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. What are your thoughts are in the draft? How did Utah make out? And what do you think about BYU's showing there as well? We want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and jump in and speak a little bit about our Utah Jazz. Got some stories to talk about.
Let's do it.
All right, AJ. So a little bit of the news for the Utah Jazz.
Oh yeah,
this week, which is great. Always helpful during these times when we're waiting for the draft lottery, and hopefully Lady Luck finds our way.
Yeah.
But there's an article in KSL this week that was talking about Joe Ingles. Is stated on Twitter by Olgun Olak. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I heard it both ways kind of type thing there.
Yeah, that's definitely one.
Yeah. So Joe Ingles, a 5-time Olympian, this is what he said on Twitter, 5-time Olympian, 12-year NBA veteran, plans to join Melbourne United ahead of the 2026-27 MBL season, sources tell ESPN. Ingles is 38 years old and in a playoff campaign right now with Minnesota. And once the NBA season is complete, he'll move towards finalizing a deal with United. Tell us about Joe, AJ.
I mean, Joe Ingles is a Utah Jazz legend, right? Played for the Jazz between 2014 and 2022. Played over 600 games, averaged 8.6 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists per game. Shot an elite 40.6% from three. He turned into that like key rotation player. He was always there to shoot it when you needed him. Even though he kind of had a late start and entered the league at age of 27, Joe kind of became one of those fan favorites because he was never scared to defend the best player on the team, always talking trash. He was the guy that you wanted the ball in his hands because he just had ice in his veins. He had that so close to 6 man of the year voting when he lost it to Jordan Clarkson in 2020-2021 season. So he's played for a few teams since he left Utah, but he's kind of always going to be remembered. Like I hope that the Jazz do something for him and sign him to a 1-day deal so he can retire a Jazz man, because that's how he belongs to retire for sure.
Oh yeah. You said he's an elite 3-point shooter, right?
Absolutely.
You know who also is elite?
Who?
All of you that signs that subscribe button for Utah Jazz DNA.
So
make sure you hit that subscribe
absolutely.
button.
Yeah, do that.
Smash that like button for your boy AJ right over there.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah, Joe was originally picked up from the Clippers, basically as kind of a babysitter to Dante Exum, number 5th overall pick for the Jazz that year. Do you remember number 5 overall pick, man?
Yeah.
Last time we had a top 5 pick, it was freaking Dante Exum.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
And you know what's funny is I remember where I was when the Jazz drafted Dante Exum. I was coming down Parley's Canyon from a work trip, and I was so excited because he was supposed to be taken like number 2 or 3 overall.
Oh yeah.
And he slid. And
for obvious reasons. Apparent reasons.
But I was
anyway.
so excited about Dante Exum. I was like,
yeah,
this is the point guard of the future.
Every time he was shut down for the season, he came to everybody's like, what are the Jazz going to do this offseason? We're like, well, they basically have another player coming back like they were just, trade for somebody like Dante Exum. And everybody would just always like that guy's never healthy. And you're right, he isn't. But the funny thing is he's brought here to basically just be a fellow countryman and a babysitter for our young rookie to feel comfortable with him. After that, he's played 8 seasons, finished, like you mentioned, second in 2021 for the Jazz there for overall in the NBA for the sixth player of the year, losing to JC, who we actually got to present the award to.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very, very cool.
Very cool.
You mentioned this. One of my favorite was during the 2018 playoffs when the Utah Jazz were facing the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Ingles was constantly chirping at Paul George, push off P as we know him around here in Salt Lake City.
That's correct.
Playing physical, pesky defense, and it just became a storyline in that series where basically Joe Ingles was easily frustrating him out to the point where Utah could get the win out of that. Yeah, dude, absolutely love it. Love it. Joe Ingles, slow-mo Joe. Like, he was just that type of player that didn't care what league it was. To him, it was a basketball game.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't care if he was in the NBA, if he's in the, National Basketball League in Australia, FIBA. He didn't care about any of that. Once you're on the court, you're just playing a basketball game, and he didn't care who you were. If he was guarding you, he was going to make it hard for you.
Oh, dude. And that's exactly what he did, too. Like, he just showed out. He became like a really big part of the community. Him and his wife, all of a sudden her name slipped my mind. Anyways, but him and his wife, like, they did a bunch of cool stuff for autism because one of his children has autism, and just a really, really cool story. And like, me as a Jazz fan, like, I feel lucky that we had Joe Ingles here for the time
Absolutely,
that we had him,
dude.
Like, he was that guy that you were always excited. He started a bunch of games for us. We had some great seasons with Joe. Some of the best Jazz basketball that we've had to watch in recent memory. Joe Ingles was a part of that team and a key part of that team. So,
He had like 5,000.
Renee Ingles is his wife's name.
Nice.
It just hit me. Sorry.
There you go. I think he had over 5,000 points in a Jazz uniform.
And it's funny because, like, it's not like he was just like filling up the score sheet every night. There's some nights where Joe would come out and he'd score, 4-6 points but make great passes and then go into the playoffs and just be the guy that's taking the ball up the court because he makes such good decisions. He's always throwing the ball in from the sideline. Joe Ingles was the guy that
he would be checked in just for a ball inbound play.
Absolutely. Because he's just that cerebral of a basketball player. He makes good reads. I love Joe Ingles. I'm excited for him to kind of cap off his career, in the NBA. Like I said, I wish he could come back to Utah for even a one-day deal. It's just too cool.
SCG, make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen, SCG. We want a one-day contract for the Ingles, for them to be able to come back here and, be able to retire, have that press conference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have all the current Jazz players be in there, even though none of them are going to know who the heck he is. But, absolutely love it. There you go. Tip of the DNA cap to Joe Ingles on a lovely NBA career. And, man, you are slowly be missed, man. And hope all is well for you over there. And,
Absolutely.
Hopefully we get to see you around Salt Lake for sure. All right, man. So let's go ahead and pivot on over. There's another article there. Now, this one, this is kind of how we're going to break it down. This was an article about the Jazz, and I think this was on SI.com.
Yeah.
I think this one was SI. It said the likelihood of players receiving a contract extension in 2026 offseason. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start from the lowest odds and go up. I'm going to basically state, what the article is saying, and then you kind of, and what I'm going to have you do is basically just kind of respond to that and tell me what you think, and kind of just go from there. This first one is obviously Svi Mikhailuk. He's got a 10% chance, and is the least likely since the Jazz may prefer to keep that roster spot flexible to explore other options rather than extend him now. 10% seems kind of low, but I definitely agree with where they're coming from on this one.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. Svi had a good season on a really bad team, right? He shot right around 40% from three, right about 9 points, 2.5 rebounds, just about 2 assists. So, but he was playing with sub caliber NBA players the whole season. So he was kind of forced into a position where he needed to, be the vet on a really young team and guys that just don't have a ton of NBA experience. So, I think the chance is higher than 10% that they sign him. I think he's a good bench option. You can get some solid 3-point production from him. He actually plays really good defense. I thought that he was very effective on the defensive end of the floor for, playing with guys that miss their rotations pretty regularly and, kind of slough off and leave a little bit more to him. So I feel like you need a guy like Svi because he's not a He's not a high volume offensive weapon. He's someone that you can use and bring him in, and he's not looking for the ball every single time, but he plays good defense. I'm going to say over 10%. I could see them getting Svi another contract and keeping him around for a few more years.
I see the more likely thing for Svi is that he isn't with the Jazz, but he is on an NBA team.
Yeah.
I just don't think that Svi right now is in a position where I don't think his timeline matches the Jazz right now. I just think with the depth we have, because think about our conspiracy theory when it comes to Nurkic.
Yeah.
There's
our conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is talking about this. I think this is just an us thing. There's got to be a back. There's no way in a contract here you convince somebody to sit out for a deviated septum.
Yeah.
Especially a producer like him. There's no way unless you kind of guaranteed a contract in the back end somewhere.
You're like, hey, bud, we're good. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
So I think with him there, I think that's almost a guarantee that contract's happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
the conspiracy theory could hold true. And
Yeah.
and if that's the case, with the conspiracy theory in place, I could see Svi being pushed just outside of making the roster. So,
yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I'm sitting on that one. I will say it's above 50%, though, that he's on an NBA roster on opening day.
Oh, he'll play somewhere for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The next option is going to be Kyle Filipowski with a 20% chance of getting a contract extension this offseason. He's shown value as a rotation big. Still needs more development before the team commits long-term money to him. What's your take on this? 20% for Kyle Filipowski. Now, keep in mind, this is just of them getting an extension this season.
Correct.
This offseason.
Correct. And that's all we're talking about is this offseason. So I don't think the Jazz are quite made a decision on Flip yet. And
It's really tough too, man.
And I think the big reason is if you got a handshake deal with Nurkic, you just got Jaren Jackson Jr., you got Walker Kessler coming back. Flip is a good mixture of all of those players put together, but he doesn't do anything well. He's not a great defensive player. He doesn't shoot the three ball great. Like if you just need a guy that can score from 5-6 feet, you've got Walker Kessler. Jaren Jackson Jr. can do it. Like, who do you pick up in this draft? There's a lot of questions around Flip and he's old. I mean, for a second year NBA rookie, he's 25 years old.
Right.
Like, he played his full college career out. I do not think they will extend Flip this offseason. I think it is much less than 20%.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I am spot on there with you on this one. And it has a lot to do with what you mentioned there, which is the draft pick. I think the draft pick's going to throw a huge wrench on all of this because, obviously we want the Jazz to draft a guard if possible, but depending on where they land, you're going to take the best player available, and that really is going to hurt Kyle's chance, Flip's chances of being, having meaningful minutes, which he did show great showings. He did have great games where he looked like, oh, he's a future starter in the NBA.
Yeah.
But he also had the exact opposite in the exact same games where he showed that you're like, wow, this kid's got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm there with you, man. I almost say like him and Svi have actually the same % chance of being extended this offseason, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think if they draft a guard, I could see them extending Flip this year.
Not this offseason, though. I don't know about that. I mean, he's going to be on the team, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't see a contract extension coming his way this offseason.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's proved enough yet, man.
No, he really hasn't.
Yeah,
he really hasn't.
he just hasn't. He hasn't been uber productive, especially on the court with a bunch of guys that as a second round draft pick, and you're playing with undrafted guys that are coming up from the G League and you still don't look great. It's just not a good look. So hopefully he can turn it around. Let's plan on him making that third year jump, kind of like Keontae George, and he could be in much better shape next year.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Moving on up, let's go ahead and talk about Bryce Sensabaugh. He has a 35% chance of getting a contract extension this offseason, according to this article. He is viewed as a possible, but yes, less urgent extension case, with his role and future fit being somewhat uncertain. What's your take on this one, man? I know you're a big Sensabaugh guy.
I am. I think this is one you probably want to make happen sooner than later. I think if you, because of the situation you put Bryce Sensabaugh in with playing with some of these, lower level guys, and kind of kind of forcing his hand to keep losing games. And I think Bryce can be a contributor on this team. He shoots the 3-ball well. His defense came a long way this year. I think what you shoot for is getting him on a team-friendly deal, because if he has an explosive, if his next year playing with a bunch of guys that are really good around him, you're going to lose him. So you don't want to risk him having a breakout year playing with much better players next year, and now his value is much higher. I think you try to get Bryce Sensabaugh signed to a team-friendly deal, pay him some money, but you don't gotta throw the whole barn at him. You know what I mean? Because he's not there yet. But if you can get him on a team-friendly extension and keep him with the Jazz and let him keep showing what he can do, especially when you go out there and you're trying to win ball games.
Kind of buy out that restricted free agent year with the.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I can kind of see that. Here's something you're not going to like.
Okay.
I actually agree that the certainty needs to be a little bit higher on this one. I think this one needs to be about 45%. But the reason why I'm putting that in there is that Bryce Sensabaugh makes an excellent trade piece on a team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
His value outside of the Jazz is almost equal to his value within the team.
Yeah.
This guy has a skill set that is unique. He's, basically he's like JC Lightman.
Yeah.
With a little bit better size and better defense, obviously.
Yeah.
But this guy has a very similar skill set to that. He's a bucket getter when you need him to get in there. He can scramble in plays that break down and find a way to, get a good shot for either him or his teammate. I just, the problem is with it, if the Jazz get the player they want to get in this draft, whether it's higher up in the draft or lower in the draft, it's probably more than likely going to be a guard unless they get like the number 1 or number 2 overall pick. And I just see, Isaiah Collier. Who are you going to pick between Isaiah Collier and Bryce Sensabaugh to give a contract to? Because you're not giving them both a contract.
They're such different players, though.
But they're playing the same role, basically. They're basically, well, I guess Bryce is going to be more of a 2 guard than
Bryce
a 3.
is more of a 2, yeah.
But you got Ace
Collier's
Bailey in
a
that
true
spot.
one. Yeah,
you got Ace Bailey in that spot. And you also have, when they want to go really big, you got Laurie Market in that spot.
Yeah.
You want to go insanely big, right?
Yeah.
It's just depending on what happens this offseason with some other key pieces they need to do. Like, again, you're going to run to the part where, like, okay, Keontae George, Isaiah Collier, whoever they draft. And then you have, I don't know, man. Bryce Sensabaugh is right up there for me. I agree with you. But, like, how they plan on extending him and why they plan on extending him, I think is going to be interesting to see.
I get your point. I absolutely do. Because that is, you bring that up, and that is a tough spot, because it's like, where does he see minutes? You know what I mean?
Right.
With some of these rotations, does Bryce really fit in with, the second and third guys? It's like, are you going to play him over? Nope. You're not going to play him over Ace. Like,
right.
I get you. I see.
Would you
where
rather?
you're at there.
And then, like, if you have Isaiah Collier come in as the 1, and then you have Keontae move down to the 2, would you rather have Keontae at the 2?
Absolutely.
Over Bryce Sensabaugh at the 2 in that
every day,
space?
every single day.
And you don't want to have Key playing all the time, but yeah. So I think it's interesting. It's very tricky, man. Very tricky. And but I think we're in agreement there that percentage is actually lower. I think it does need to be a little bit higher. Not saying, hey, it's make or break. You either sign this guy in the offseason or you're going to lose his interest going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're right there on that one. But speaking of the one that they cannot let go past this offseason before they extend, and that's going to be KG3. That's right. Coined it on this show ourselves. Keontae George, top candidate for the Jazz. About a 70% chance after a strong year as the primary playmaker for this team. Expected to be the priority to lock in long-term as a backcourt role.
Keontae George had a great year. At 23, almost 24 points a game, 6 assists, 3.7 rebounds. Played in over 50 games this year. Really became the primary scorer, primary playmaker. He had every bit of being kind of that franchise player, right? Like he's just right on the brink of, wow, this guy next year could be all-star year for him, playing with the talent that he's got coming. If you don't, this is the year you got to sign Keontae, because I think the chances are higher than 70% of the Jazz re-signing Keontae. He's immediately eligible. You don't want him to hit unrestricted free agency next year. You got to get the deal done. You got to keep Keontae with this team. He's just too good of a player. He's become too valuable. He understands the system. He loves the coach. He likes Salt Lake City. this is a guy you got to lock up this season and keep this core together if you want the Jazz to kind of start flourishing over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, what you just said there kind of throws a wrench into it. We haven't really seen this team actually try yet.
Yeah.
But the 4-letter word in basketball, potential, is there for this team. This size, the skill set, it's going to be insane. I take extending Keontae George as a number 2 priority for the Jazz this offseason. Number 1 priority, still locking up Walker Kessler, signing him, let him go test restricted free agency and match it, whatever, or give him a great contract right out of the gate so he doesn't even test it. However you guys want to go about it, that's priority number 1.
Yeah.
The moves you made at last year's trade deadline will almost certainly be affected by the decision you make with Walker Kessler.
Yeah.
You decide how valued that Triple J draft was if you don't sign Kessler. Priority number 1. Priority number 2 is extending Keontae George. You do not want him to play this next season after he's shown the dedication that he showed this offseason.
Yeah.
I followed him a lot on social media there, seeing some of the workouts that he did both in Utah and outside of Utah, and kind of really focusing on building his body, building his skill set, and coming in here. You want to reward a player that puts that kind of effort in there after he had a come to Jesus moment with Coach Hardy and saying, hey, you got to figure this out if you want to decide what you want to do with your career here.
Yep.
And then he stepped up. He did exactly what was asked. He didn't get his ego in check. He just did exactly what the team asked him to do. And you need to reward that, or else you're going to have another Gordon Hayward situation on your hands.
Yep.
Where you let him go into restricted free agency, he signs a max deal somewhere, you match it, and the whole time he's playing for your team, he can't wait for that contract to be over so he can go sign somewhere else.
Yep.
You don't want to make that situation happen again with this player.
Yeah, you can't. Not with Keontae and not what he means to this team and the dedication he's shown, just like he said. He's right up there, dude. You got to get Keontae back. You got to get him under contract. Put him under team control. It's got to happen.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to that. So, AJ, we've discussed a lot of rumors on this channel involving the Utah Jazz.
Yes, sir.
About a year or so ago, one of our highest performing shorts for the Utah Jazz, when we talked about the potential of about the Jazz being interested in Damian Lillard. We talked earlier this year about the Jazz being linked to Austin Reeves. Well, today we're going to be discussing another one of those, what I think is equally, if not more unlikely, which is the rumors that the Utah Jazz are among the 20 other teams rumored to be interested in Kevin Durant. This might be easy to laugh off, right? But there are some real basketball logical reasons behind this.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Probably because Kevin Durant's probably one of the greatest players to ever play. He's a top 15 all-time player, still an elite scorer. Kevin Durant is a fantastic basketball player, and the Jazz of course, they're going to be interested. That's all there is to it. Like if you add Kevin Durant to this team, the biggest question is can you add him without losing enough of your core? Because you're only if you're going to get him, you got a 1-year deal. He's only going to sign 1-year deals. The dude's 365 years old. Like, he's on the tail end of his career. He can still produce. He plays great basketball. But I can tell you there's not a chance in actual hell that Kevin Durant chooses to come to Utah.
Right. Okay. All right, I asked you to do this part, but I guess I'm going to have to say it. Okay, so the logical reason behind whether or not this deal would actually work, because think about worst case scenario in the draft.
Yeah.
Utah Jazz slide as far as they can.
Yeah.
Right? And they get a key piece that's not going to be of interest to Utah. Well, now you have a top 5 pick that you can pair to trade over to Houston in order to really give this team a boost. And now keep in mind, Kevin Durant was not supposed to be the leader of that team.
Correct.
That was supposed to be Fred VanVleet, right? That was supposed to be his role. He wasn't supposed to be the vibes guy. That was supposed to be what's his name?
Dylan Brooks.
No. He was traded. Big dude. Oh, it's gonna kill me.
Oh, I can Sengun.
No, not that guy. He's got the big mustache, long hair. He used to play for
Adams.
Yes. Like, he's very much a locker room vibes type guy.
Yeah.
Vibe guy. He got hurt, right? So Kevin Durant was just supposed to be a player for him and just, take this young core and do that. Imagine if that's on this team next year.
Yeah.
Imagine how well this team's going to perform next year when they get a chance to do that and they get a draft pick that isn't necessarily optimal for the Jazz. You package that pick with a bunch of other these players we mentioned before that you don't necessarily need, and some future draft capital that you also don't need. You send that to Houston for Kevin Durant and convince him that, hey, by the end of your career, you could be raising a banner, a championship banner in Utah.
Yeah.
You want to cement your legacy and earning a championship outside of Golden State, which we all know that's what he's worried about. That's a way to do it. To raise the trophy for the first time ever in Salt Lake City, that would cement your legacy as one of the greatest players of all time.
Absolutely.
So that would be the argument for that.
Yeah.
Right? This is never going to happen for a myriad of reasons.
Yeah. Yes.
Mainly because there's no way he agrees to come here. We talked about the whole trade thing. These players, especially somebody of his caliber, would block a trade to Utah 6 ways from Tuesday. He's just not coming here, right? There's just no way he's doing it. And the LeBron James player empowerment league, that's just no way. It's not happening. Second, after watching how badly he fitted with Houston this last offseason, keep in mind it's one of his best seasons he's had in the last 6 or 7 years in the NBA. Yeah. Ever since he left Golden State, this has actually been one of his best regular season years. He's missed less games in the regular season than he's missed in the playoffs so far.
Wow.
This year. His availability has been insane with Houston. However, he was not a good fit for that team. Obviously not a leader in the clubhouse. Obviously not a leader on the floor there. And that's not why you had him for. If anything, he's just actually a bigger problem in the locker room and on the court for this team. Burner accounts. Burner accounts. Anyway, so yeah, we don't need this guy on his team, and he does not want to be there. So 100%, let's just flush this one down. Never happening. What's your take on that?
You're absolutely right. I mean, you can look at it every way. Does he help this team? Yeah. Do we want to give up all the pieces to get him here? Absolutely not.
See, I don't think he helps this team at all.
I mean,
I think the issue he has in the locker room makes him a toxic enough addition. I mean, he called one of his own players mentally handicapped.
Yeah. Sounds like Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
I'm just saying from a talent perspective, yeah,
sure.
You can help any team score more points because he's elite, right? He's a high level player, but this is not anywhere in the wavelength that you're trying on the team you're trying to build with the Jazz right now.
Definitely not.
This is just not what you need. This doesn't help you. This doesn't further the team.
This is almost exactly what happened in Houston, though. Like, it's the exact same thing.
It's exactly the same thing. They had a young, really talented team.
They signed a couple of vets.
And you're like, okay, here we go. But Kevin Durant's the odd man out of this whole team.
Yeah, he probably helped them get to the playoffs.
Learn
in the first
from
place,
Houston.
Yeah,
learn from Houston. Right? Like, don't go in there and dive headfirst into the Houston plan because they're not championship contenders.
Speaking of which, man, let me ask you this. In the 90s, when you had a last hurrah for Jordan going up against Bird, right, in the playoffs, right? That would have been all time.
Yeah.
This series, we had LeBron James against Kevin Durant. And it just doesn't feel that same way.
No.
The legends of this era of basketball just don't seem to have the drive to compete the way previous eras do, and that makes me sad. There's no way that Larry Bird would let a rolled ankle keep him out of a game.
No.
And there's no way that, Jordan would, phone in half a season and talk about golf whenever he's interviewed in the locker room after a game that last year. It's just it's unfortunate the state of basketball where it is and where these stars are at, because it just really kind of hurts your feelings. Anyway.
It does, but it also shows you why the NBA is the fastest declining professional sport right now.
Ooh,
it's just so tough to watch. It's tough to follow the players.
Doesn't help when a third of the team's trying not to win. A third of the league's trying not to win.
And there's only so much you can do about it, right? Like you've either got to buckle down and put some chains on this NBA Players Association and say, if you're traded, you will play. They're never going to agree to that.
No, Players.
You know what I mean? Like
won't.
they have too much. They own too much.
Yeah, I had to agree with you on that one, man. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about the new draft rules that came into effect. We'll save that for next week.
Yeah, we also want to see what comes all the way of them, right? Like, I'm pretty sure the vote is in the next couple of weeks. So they could still be tweaked. There is some stuff. I've seen the proposals. I mean, we're happy that the Jazz are out of that area, right? We're glad that they're not going to be in position, but yeah, we'll break it all down.
Absolutely.
For sure.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to everything we talked about when it comes to the Utah Jazz. We want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts. All right, let's go ahead and pivot on over. And before we get out of here, let's talk some baseball, man.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Well, again, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about baseball, man. And this is something we wanted to bring up last week, but we kind of ran out of a little bit of time. Actually, a couple of weeks earlier, I want to talk about this. But let's go ahead and start with our first story, which is about the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, man. And the Red Sox, these guys are having a tough year. You know what I mean? You open the season 10-17 in your first 27 games. And as a fan, you got to start asking, right? Like, what can we do to change things? Like, something's got to change. This is supposed to be a competitive baseball team that we're fielding here. And when the team decides what needs to change is sometimes refreshing and sometimes it leaves you scratching your head. And on April 25th, the Boston Red Sox decide to part ways with Alex Cora. And also a pretty good majority of his coaching staff as well, including Peter Fasty, Ramon Vasquez, Kyle Hudson, Dylan Lawson, and Joe Cronin. Red Sox owner John Henry talked about how he led the organization to one of the greatest seasons in Boston Red Sox history in 2018 and thanked him for his lasting impact on the organization. There are some fans and players that are upset about this, but why? Why?
Why are they upset? Okay. Great question. Before we get into that, did you see the van that pulled up to pick them up from the hotel after they got fired?
I did not.
Oh my gosh, it's the greatest thing. A black van supposed to pick them up, shuttle to take them. You know what the company was called? The graphic on the van?
What?
Coaches for Hire.
No, it was not. You're kidding me.
No, they literally hired a shuttle service called Coaches for Hire to take them from the team's hotel to the airport to fly them away.
You couldn't script that better.
Just insane. But yeah, man, just to answer your question, man, why is everybody so upset about this? Well, I think a former players had the best metaphor. He said it's like shitting your pants and then changing your shirt.
That is pretty solid.
The issue here is not Alex Cora. Okay, keep in mind I have a lot of reserved feelings on Alex Cora. He's part of my all-time Dodgers infield, by the way. You had Beltre at third, Cesar Torres at short, Alex Cora at second, and Eric Karros at first. My all-time Dodgers infield. He's part of that team that I really love. So I have some love for him, but I also have some hate for him because he's part of the cheating Astros.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like I have complicated feelings when it comes to Alex Cora. But when it comes to that, man, he's not the problem, man. The problem with this team is Greg Breslow, the GM, and the owner, John Henry. It all goes back to something that I actually wanted to talk about in a separate conversation a few weeks back, but we ran out of time. And that is that this team made their plans very clear to the rest of baseball world when they traded Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
They basically came out with a big old flag, raving it, saying, hey, profitability takes priority over anything else. Ever since then, every move they've made has been about profitability and team flexibility over actually winning. Somehow Breslow convinced John Henry that this was a coaching issue and not a roster issue. But this is quite clear that Cora is a good coach and will be probably the first pick, have his first choice of any team that's available this winter.
Yeah.
He's a great coach for a lot of players. Even Mookie Betts said on an interview, he's like, yeah, I still watch Red Sox baseball because I love Alex Cora. Which is really cool. Yeah.
But Mookie Betts is a classy guy.
Yes, when your 2018 MVP who helped lead you to a World Series, probably one of the better teams in Red Sox history, says I still watch because I love that coach. Definitely bodes well for that coach.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah. So again, this is not a coaching issue. This is a team construction issue. This is quite like we could break it down. They get rid of Mookie Betts because they didn't want to sign to a max contract. They let Xander Bogaerts walk to San Diego, which, by the way, I'd still let him walk on that one. I don't blame you guys, but you could have signed him earlier on a more team-friendly deal to keep some of that 2018, team together.
Yeah.
Right? And so like, oh, wow, we really screwed that up. Okay, let's go ahead and sign oh, gosh, he's playing for the Rafael Devers to a max contract, right? Like, hey, we kept our guy.
Yeah.
And they basically screwed that up too because they moved him from third base to DH. And then, oh, sorry, not DH. We want you to play first. And then when finally that guy's like, dude, you guys is not willing to play ball with this, then they trade him.
They're like, yeah, no, we're actually done here.
Yeah, we're trading you because we brought in Alex Bregman to cover you at third base. So, And guess what? He's gone the next year. He's with Chicago that year. Like the next year, you're like, okay, well, that didn't make sense. So why did you trade Devers in the first place if your replacement you signed on a 3-year deal with an opt-outs after the first 2 years? None of these decisions they've made has made any sense for this team. This is not a Alex Cora problem. And that's coming from somebody who isn't necessarily an Alex Cora supporter. This is a front office and ownership problem. They pivoted from winning is important to us to, well, if the books look right and if it all works out, maybe we can push the chips in the middle and try to make a run for it. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. We have a comment here coming from Greg Hawkins saying, LOL, how about the Mets and Phillies fighting for the worst team in baseball? Talk about a transition comment there for us, Greg. I really appreciate that because we're going to go ahead and parlay that conversation that we talked about directly into a related topic that covers our hot takes from this offseason.
Yeah.
So we will switch over to the team that already tried and failed to sign Alex Cora literally the day after he got fired. You mentioned that the Phillies were the team that you felt were going to miss the playoffs this season. Well, they are under 500 right now and tied, like as Greg said, for the worst record in baseball. Let's talk about that. What do you got on this?
Oh, I mean, the Phillies look horrible this year, right? I mean, they haven't played well. The pitching hasn't been great. The coaching's been bad, and I mean, they come out and they let go of their head coach as well.
Yeah,
which
Rob Thompson.
It just blows me away. I mean, I predicted at the beginning of the season that the Phillies were going to miss the playoffs. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think they were going to be this bad, Darren.
No, but solid prediction on your part, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for.
By the way, do you my hot take? Do you remember what that one was?
It was the A's. No.
Yep.
It was the A's make the A's
make the playoffs.
Make the playoffs?
Yes.
Was it that? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was make the playoffs or over 500.
Guess who's sitting at the top of the AOS right now?
Boom.
So far we're doing good.
2 for 2. What up?
So far we're doing good.
Like, subscribe. Right,
that's right.
Right up there.
Somewhere
Major League DNA. You know how it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I love what Dombrowski said here. He said this isn't a blame game. You can blame whoever you choose. For us, we really don't do that. Like as the rest of us, we all bear responsibility. Just the way things go, and things aren't going well enough. I don't think we're playing up to our capability. I think we are a much better club than we've played. So you have to make some tough decisions at tough times.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. You have to make tough decisions, but again, your head coach is that's your first decision. Like,
yeah. So
it's not your general manager that assembled the team.
Well, no. Why would he say that? That's his job.
I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like. Yeah.
I really love that
like,
he says,
no, we're good. We're doing just fine. The team's assembled great.
Yeah, he said this after the interview. He's like, it's in the same interview, it's not age that's caught up with us. Our guys are not aged out by any means. This coming literally 6 months after he said Bryce Harper is no longer an elite player.
Yeah. He
literally just said 6 months ago the exact opposite. You're basically just calling him too old.
Yeah.
Okay, so your core is JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner,
yeah,
and I'm forgetting his name. Their DH leads off for him. Led the National League in home runs.
Just played the Phillies too. I don't remember who it is.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna kill me. Greg, bail me out here. Tammy, bail me out here. Kyle Schwarber, there it is.
Oh yeah, Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle
Absolutely.
Schwarber.
Yeah.
All these guys are on the north side of 30. And you're under 30 players. Alec Boehm, some of these guys, they're not playing up to potential either.
Right.
When Marsh is your best player, like the guy who looks like he's homeless with his hair wet out in the outfield, when he's your best hitter on the team, that's scary. Now, they did sign $300 million worth of contracts this offseason, but that was just to maintain their current group of players.
But that was the problem, is they went all in on this roster, like you said, that's on the wrong side of 30. I mean, the Phillies really missed this offseason. They didn't go out there and get young guys. They didn't go out and replace anybody. They're like, we're solid with the core we have, which is, again, the general manager making that decision, saying, no, we've got enough talent already. Let's go re-sign them.
Yeah.
Let's do what we need to do.
Yeah.
And then the coach is the first one that goes.
Yeah. Honestly, any team that decides to run it back after the year they had last year and be like, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. Run it back. Sign your core players. Run it back. But this is like the fourth year in a row they try to run it back with the same core of players, and they're getting diminishing returns every single year.
It's insanity.
You made it to the World Series, then you made it to the Championship Series, then you lost the Division Series.
Yeah.
Like,
let's not change anything and hope it gets better.
Yeah. Yeah. It was awful. And yes, again, not the coach's problem. It's the general manager's problem. And again, I don't know what dirt he has on his owner, but yeah, it's really, really embarrassing for sure.
He's got enough good pictures that he's still got his job.
Exactly. Apparently. So Greg actually mentioned it here when he talked about the Mets and Phillies fighting for the last spot. But yeah, let's go ahead and pivot back over to the Mets, man. Have you seen this story?
Yeah. Yeah. The Mets broadcaster, Gary Cohen.
Yes.
That's the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because his comments in that broadcast versus the A's game, where he's talking about, how the media had specifically talked about the focus on the Mets has been, they continue to single out individual guys and their performances in games. But, he goes on to say, like, this team's got to do something to score more runs. Like, we need relievers to stop, allowing these teams to come in and get hard hits and put the ball into play. And he's got a great point. I mean, the Mets offense has been horrible this year. Their relievers have been bad. It allows them to, even if they can generate some offense, they're losing games late. And Gary Cohen's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it really just makes you think, like, what is this team's plan? Like almost like the Phillies. It's like, you've got to change something. What is it for the Mets?
Yeah. That's actually backed up by Howie Ross. He states in that 3-game series where they got swept by the Rockies.
Yeah.
One of them in a doubleheader. He's like, you have to just wonder if some kind of move is coming, because there's just nothing happening here right now for the New York Mets getting swept by the Rockies today, and in a series where you drop 10 games and you're under the 500 mark. So that is broadcaster speak for thinking. He's basically saying without saying, yeah, I think Carlos Mendoza is going to get fired soon.
Right. Like,
that's basically what your broadcaster's coming out and saying on the air without saying it.
What are the Mets on payroll?
They're the second most expensive team in baseball.
That when you have that much payroll, and you go out and get Juan Soto, and you're like, we're going for the Yankees. What are you guys doing?
All the Yankees pitchers. I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's the worst part. And depending on who you look at, Sport Track actually has the Mets having a higher payroll. But if you take in like penalties and stuff like that, the Dodgers are obviously higher. But yeah, they're right up there, the most expensive team in baseball. And again, the Phillies, I think they're like 5th or 6th most expensive team in baseball,
right?
If not higher. So basically, man, the situation is the Mets just got swept in a 3-game series against the Rockies, which included a doubleheader. Rose also noted that the team is managing only 1 run in 18 innings of baseball.
It's been horrible.
1 run and 4 runs total in a 3-game span against the Colorado Rockies.
At one point, they were the very last team in run differential. Are they still?
I don't know if they are still. That'd be worth looking at, though.
Yeah.
Television commentary. You mentioned Gary Cohen said that he is actually, this is embarrassing. And he says at some point, you got to start calling people out. It's easier for you to fire a manager than it is to fire people above him. And in this case, yeah, dude, like, who are you going to... We talked about this in a previous episode of LOL Mets. We love talking about this, guys. But if you see what happened with Alex Cora and Rob Thompson both getting canned earlier this year because of their teams and how they're performing, then Carlos Mendoza's got to be right behind him, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So the New York Mets are not last in run differential. It's the Philadelphia Phillies.
Can't even script that, guys.
Yeah. So
even
they were, it must have been a while that I saw that, because the Mets are negative 34 on run differential and the Phillies are negative 47. So I don't think either one of them have had losses. But I mean, the next team is Houston, and they're negative 25 in run differential. So these teams are a long ways down in run differential. Just for note, the number one team in run differential is the Atlanta Braves.
We'll get to that. We will get to that. We got some comments we want to hit up here. We'll get to this one. Actually, let's hide that one. We're going to get back to you on that one. We're going to get back to that one. He's like, I think there's more to that comment there. Friend of the channel, Tammy Price. Let's see here. They put it all out last year and lost at a heartbreak. Hard to come back without ownership support. Yeah, agreed. And that's kind of the thing. This is the difference about the Mets, though. The Mets have one of the best owners in baseball.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to throw money. And I think it's really funny that you can't just throw money at the best players. And honestly, I bet you right now Philly fans are loving the fact they did not get Dante Bichette and that the Mets stole him.
Guaranteed.
He's back like what, $1.25 right now? Like
just playing terrible.
Yeah.
You're just like, wow, that was a big contract.
Yeah. Anyway, so anyway, we talked enough about bad baseball.
Yeah, we have.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Did you guys think that this was going to come out this way? Like, did you think 2 of the top 5 payrolls in baseball were going to be 2 of the worst baseball teams in the league so far this year?
I did.
Still plenty of time to change that.
Yeah, lots of time, for sure.
Lots of time. We'll see. We'll see. But let's go ahead and move on over to talk a little bit about something else here, man. So, hey, AJ.
Yeah.
We could talk about the power rankings and discuss, who's the best. But I think what needs to be discussed right now is who the best team in baseball is right now. And that team, the only team with 21 wins right now is the Atlanta Braves.
Actually,
22 wins.
Thank you.
22 wins. Yes. I pointed out. I saw that over there. I'm just
know.
Hey, AJ, check that out.
Yeah, somebody walked it off. I didn't see who.
Yeah.
Who did
So,
it.
yeah, the only team with 22 wins at the time of recording. And as we knew with this team, was set for a good season, health permitting. Like, that was the asterisk we put on this team.
Yeah.
This team is stacked. If they were healthy, they were going to be good. But right now, going into spring training, actually, before the season started, key players started hitting the IL. Now, even with those injuries, this team is still getting it done, AJ. Is that simply just because they hired Jeremy Hefner as their pitching coach?
I mean, I think it helps when you get a pitching coach that's coming in and developing some of these young guys. I mean, the move with Grant Holmes, they did it last year where they moved him from the bullpen and kind of rotated him in as a starter when they lost Strider last year. And Grant Holmes has come out and done a great job. You're solid with Chris Sale. Ronaldo Lopez has kind of struggled in a couple of games. I think they're moving him back to the bullpen now. But that's also, they just pulled J.R. Ritchie up from the AAA, the Gwinnett team, and he came out and had a great start. I mean, he gave up 3 runs, but the Braves got the win. Pitched 7 innings. The kid looked great in his first major league start. Braves pitching's just been good. I mean, and then you go to the bullpen, and the bullpen's been even better. You got Dylan Lee coming out of the bullpen. Raciel Iglesias has been awesome. He's got 3 saves this year already. Bryce Elder's had a couple really good games where he looked good. So the pitching's been good for the Braves. Surprisingly good. Especially when you lose Spencer Strider to start the season and Spencer Schwellenbach to start the season. Our big concern is can we get enough starting pitching out there to keep this team going the right direction? And we've just had guys that have just come out and thrown good games, and the Braves offense has put enough runs up that starting pitchers don't have to have so much pressure on them, right? They don't got to go throw a shutout. Right. They can give up 2 or 3 runs because the Braves are going to put up 8. Like I just mentioned, the Braves are leading the league in plus minus and run differential. I guess it's not plus minus, but run differential. And that's for a reason. This team's been great. I mean, the pitching staff overall, the ERA is 2.9 as a team,
Which isn't the highest in baseball.
No, but it's great.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic. So
your pitching is doing just enough.
Yeah, just enough.
But not like what I mean by just enough is just enough to be elite.
Yeah.
Without taxing everybody.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what this guy, Jeremy Hefner, is kind of known for. He's more data utilization. He's basically kind of the science of pitching. He's what is like to be called a kitchen sink approach, while he focuses on developing multiple types of pitches to improve strikeouts while reducing hard contact.
Yeah.
So I think that goes a lot to what you're talking about when it comes to this. His addition, because he was with the Mets before, believe it or not, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And now he's with this team. And you're starting to see some of that kind of that science in pitching really kind of trickle down and allowing, like you mentioned, some of these new players, these new pitchers coming up to have a debut or like, hey, just work with this tunnel and we're going to have you throw 5 different pitches out of this exact same tunnel.
Yeah.
And I think it's paying off, man.
Yeah. I mean, that J.R. Ritchie, that kid that they just brought up, I believe he pitched tonight as well. But he doesn't throw hard. I mean, I think his fastball is only 93, 94. But he's got a great like slider, a great curveball, and it all comes and starts out. And they've just done a really good job. You can tell that the data is there because they're throwing these guys places where they chase a lot, soft contact. The biggest thing has been the Braves offense, right? Drake Baldwin, National League Rookie of the Year last year. He's just come out fantastic. He leads the leagues in home runs and leads the team in home runs and RBIs. And I mean, he's hitting over 300, got 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, 1.07 OPS. Baldwin's been great. Matt Olson's bat's finally coming to life. Ozzie Albies is always just kind of steady, good.
He's there for
He's
the
going to
glove.
make contact.
Yeah.
Matt Olson hit the game-winning home run tonight, which is great to hear. That puts him at 7 home runs for the season. And I don't think he had any through the first 15, 20 games. And all of a sudden, his bats just come to life. So it's been really good. Acuna's... His bat's kind of coming to life the last few games. He's played a little bit better. He was kind of struggling for a few games there. Still great in the outfield. He's still stealing bases, but the Braves they look tough, and it's crazy because they're not doing anything that you're like, this is not sustainable. Everything they're doing is completely sustainable. They're just going out there, winning games late. There's times where the offense struggles against some of the starting pitcher, but as soon as that starting pitcher comes out, they are rocking some of these relief pitchers. I mean, that's what happened tonight against, the Tigers. Skubal goes out. They had a 2-run shot in the first, and they come out. The relief pitcher comes out in the 9th, and Matt Olson gets a 2-run home run to walk it off. So the Braves just keep doing the things that it takes to win ball games. It's so much fun to watch, dude.
Yeah, I'd have to tip your cap to the Braves fans there who had to suffer through a couple of years, basically couldn't get through the Phillies. Now it looks like the Phillies are going to be the team that they're not going to have to worry about.
Yeah.
I will have to say they're, as far as they're getting a lot of help in the division too, in this one for sure.
Oh, for sure.
But I'd have to agree with you, man. Everything is sustainable. The only thing that could really hurt this team is going to be injuries to the lineup. I think is really kind of the only thing that's going to. But then you're going to have team players like Schwellenbach and Quadzilla coming back. That's just going to solidify that starting rotation where now you don't need 8 runs, you need 5. You know? So it's just going to. It's a great time to be a Braves fan. You got to love it. Enjoy it, guys. Enjoy it because it's. You guys were just dealing with the fact that you missed the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah.
So, you got to love it. Great story in baseball for sure. We got this comment here from Greg Hawkins, channel legend, saying the Braves are having the Braves this year are what the Braves fans thought the Braves were going to be last year, which is exactly on point. Exactly on point. We also have another comment here from Greg Hawkins saying the Cubs played the Dodgers the past series. Their fans kept booing players like PCA and Bregman. Gee, I wonder why, Greg. Can't imagine why that happened. Bregman, part of the 2017 Houston Astros, and, PCA trashing the Dodgers fans and doubling down when he got there, which is great. Kind of funny. I love that follow-up there. Hee. I wish more ballparks were like Wrigley and Dodger Stadium. 100% yes. These legendary fields that just
legendary though. You know what I
so
mean? Like
good.
you can't replicate Dodger Stadium, Wrigley Field, like
Fenway. Yeah.
Those are bucket list parks, right? Like if you're an MLB fan, you have to go sit in the stands at Wrigley or Fenway or Dodger Stadium. Like those are must-haves, right? Like some of these new stadiums are beautiful, right? Truist Stadium for the Braves is a beautiful stadium, but it's not a legendary baseball stadium, right?
No,
like,
you can't say Greg Maddux pitched there.
Yeah, exactly.
Glavine, all them. They weren't part of that.
Yeah.
No. But you can say Sandy Koufax pitched at Dodger Stadium. You can say, some of the greats that ever played, for the Dodgers have played Dodger Stadium: Fernando Valenzuela, Kirk Gibson, Oral Hershiser. You can go down the list. Same thing with the Cubs. You've got Ryan Sandberg. You got, who's the guy I'm thinking of?
Sammy Sosa.
Well, depending on how you feel about baseball, where you sit on that one.
I think that's probably a discussion for another day.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Ernie Banks. That's the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Greg, channel legend, jumping in there. Make sure we get it. Fenway's another great ballpark. Absolutely, man. Yeah, you'll love to see it, man. The Braves are doing well. The Cubs are doing well. The Yankees are doing well. All the legendary legacy teams are performing well at this point.
Yeah,
with the exception of the Phillies. The Mets are always going to be the LOL Mets. So baseball's in a great spot, man. Like you mentioned, the only professional team that has considered to see consistent growth over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
We got one more subject we want to hit up before we get out of here, AJ. Just Trevor Bauer.
What about Trevor Bauer?
It's been a while since we talked Trevor Bauer.
Yes, sir.
So Trevor Bauer, did you hear about his last start?
Yeah, his no-hitter through 7.
Okay, go ahead and break it down.
I don't have his no-hitter through. I just know that he had a start with the Long Island Ducks. Went out there, had a great outing, no-hitter. I think he had 1 walk, through a no-hitter through 7. And
7 innings, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and 84 pitches.
Yeah.
And 54 of those were strikes. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Also not a no-hitter.
Right.
To anyone calling that game a no-hitter, you are the evidentiary piece and the evidentiary example of participation trophy era in baseball. Okay?
A no-hitter means you had no people on base.
A no-hitter means nobody hit, no, a no-hitter's not no people on base. He only did it in 7 innings. It was a double hitter.
Right.
Yeah. 9 innings is a no-hitter. Okay? Does it make it less impressive? Absolutely not. It's still less impressive. Absolutely, it's less impressive. But it doesn't mean it's not impressive, man. The fact that this guy goes in this, sub-A league, independent ball, and throws 70 innings of no-hit ball is very, very impressive. But all of the, people who are, we're Bauer's boys here. We're all about him getting back in the league, right? We
Absolutely.
are all about it.
Yeah.
But you got to call a spade a spade. This was not a no-hitter. No-hitter gets progressively worse each inning you pitch. And if you stop at inning 7,
yeah. Why did you get taken out? Finish the game.
Well, it was a doubleheader.
Still.
So it was only a 7-inning game.
Oh, it's only 7?
Yes. So he pitched a complete game shutty.
Okay.
7 innings, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, 7 Ks, 84 pitches. It's not his fault he didn't get to finish the 2 innings, but he also didn't finish the next 2 innings. So not a no-hitter. I'm sorry. It's not a no-hitter. But also very, very impressive.
It is.
We love to see it, Bauer. We love to see it. Keep shoving, dude. I can't wait for someone to buy out that contract and you're back in the MLB anytime soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the 7-inning no-hitter?
I mean, Trevor Bauer still got good stuff, but he's going to need an opportunity to show it in front of guys that are not in the independent league.
Yeah. You can't come off of the worst season, as the worst pitcher in the MPB, and you come over here. Love to see that the first 2 starts, everybody kind of get ragged on him for giving up a couple runs in his first start.
Yeah.
But dude, it's still a quality start, man. He only gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. That's not bad. That's still a quality start.
Yeah.
And then his next start, he comes in here and throws a complete game shutty, no hits through 7 innings. Yes, it's a complete game shutout with no hits through 7 innings. But in my opinion, and anybody who actually really cares about rewarding people who actually do things, it's not a no-hitter. Love Trevor Bauer. Hope that he gets a chance to play in the major leagues. But unfortunately, let's hope that he doesn't post a bunch of things. I threw a no-hitter. Let's hope that doesn't come out on social.
It's coming too.
Because, it's just like, come on, dude. Come on. Let's hope that's not that. But
he
anyway.
pitched every inning he was available for.
Yeah. I think the same thing actually happened to, what's his name? Get Out of the Ocean guy who played for the Giants. Gosh, what is his name? Madison Bumgarner. He threw a 7-inning no-hitter one of his last years with the Giants. And he's like, well, I didn't pitch all 9, so it's not really a no-hitter. So You want that kind of attitude, right?
Yeah.
You want that kind of attitude. Got a couple of comments here from Greg Hawkins. What you guys don't think the Atlantic League or professional baseball games of the Atlantic League of professional?
Yeah.
I love any type of baseball, Greg. I just don't think that. I definitely think it's a step down from the MPB and definitely a step down from the Mexican League, which he also did have a great year with the Mexican League. I also still think he has a chance to be in Major League Baseball. I think he needs to pitch in Colorado. That's been I think he needs to be signed with Colorado.
Yeah.
He's the only pitcher that spent a year at altitude and learned how to pitch effectively there for pitching in Mexico City bench and then having to adjust to going back to sea level.
Only pitches home games for Colorado.
There you go.
That's it, dude.
There you go.
We're on a road trip, so go ahead and just take the week off.
Yeah. I also saw a clip that I thought was the Mexican League, which is actually impressive.
Yeah, which would have been impressive. Yeah,
Yeah,
he didn't throw any no-hitters in the Mexican League.
No, but he did set the strikeout record, which is interesting.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, we want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to everything we talked about in baseball this week. Had a lot to cover. And I think we're just over, a half hour talking baseball this time?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, we want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. As a reminder, folks, you're watching this on our live stream, that our channels to everything we talked about are going to be linked in the description down below. Major League DNA, where we're talking about baseball, Utah Jazz DNA, Utah Football DNA, and also Utah Mammoth DNA, all of our sub-channels. So whatever you're watching for us this week, we have sub-channels dedicated to those. Links to those channels will be in the description down below. Be sure to subscribe to those channels. And if you're watching this on our live stream here in our podcast on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, we are still doing that $500 giveaway. Once this channel hits $500 in AdSense revenue, we're giving that back to y'all. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you you tune into our podcast every week, because that's what we're doing.
Yep, absolutely. And if you're watching this on our main channel, just know this, or on one of our sub channels, just know this isn't available in its entirety as a podcast, wherever you get your audio.
With all that said, my name is Darren, that is AJ, and this has been an episode of the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.